Today, as you suggested, I will be painting a hummingbird in very bright colors and easy brush strokes. Hi friends, I'm Olga Koelsch, watercolor artist, teacher and a book author. Welcome to my studio. First, let's make a drawing. To make a drawing easy, imagine you painting an oval a little bit tilted to 45 degrees. And then you add details, a little bit of head, body. Then let's add a beak, like this, an eye, relatively big eye shape. Once you add an eye, it makes everything alive. Let's add wings. We start from the background wing, just one line up. Some feathers, the front wing, which is attached to a body, kind of like this, and also has feathers. Then let's add a tail. Don't go into the details. I want to create some movement with this, with kneadable eraser. Soften up everything. For painting a hummingbird, finally we can use brightest colors we have in our palettes. For example, phthalo green, which usually I use only in mixes, but today is the day where everything is possible. I start to paint with the brush, with the tip of my brush. I apply this super bright color around the head, the top head, and around the eye. It's important that you will keep eye untouched and white for now, just untouched. You can imitate feathers with small brush strokes like this. And it's convenient if you will take another brush and grab another color. It can be some turquoise. I have phthalo turquoise here. You can mix phthalo green and phthalo blue to get similar shape. Now we touch here and there areas and let our watercolor flows. I can dilute slightly my turquoise mix and proceed. I like when everything flows like this. Right here I have a mix of phthalo green and yellow, which looks more like spring green. So I'm playing around today with very bright green shades from May green to emerald green. I try to keep a little bit of white areas that will add more sunlight feeling. I also play with different values. So I dilute sometimes my mixes, sometimes I use it very bold. Once I'm getting more to the body, I can soften a little bit, paint everything slightly lighter. And then, for example, right here will be the wing, and under the wing the feathers will be darker and there will be also a shade. Therefore I will grab my bolder mix, my turquoise, add some feathers like this, always mixing, always try to change a little bit the shades I'm painting. A little bit more water, a little bit less water. Painting around the body. Usually around this area there is, so to say, separation between body of the bird and the tail. And this part is more less detailed, so to say, more glossy. I can add, I have nice, very beautiful cobalt blue. I will add a little bit of cobalt blue touch into this area, and I will paint more yellowish green in the body part. So I will separate these two parts of the body with different shades of green, like this. Now, while the paper is still wet, we can go around, have a look, maybe add a couple of small dry brush strokes. I have cobalt blue. I would like to add a little bit more of details in the head, around the head, like this. Brush strokes, we arrange them along the body. We think how the feathers are arranged, so we arrange our brush strokes in the same direction, not like this, but according to the shape of the body. Next step, let's paint one wing. I will dilute my cobalt blue. I want to create, I'll take a bigger brush and I will create my bluish mix, pretty light, and with big brush strokes, relatively diluted color, I just arrange, imitate the shape of the wing. And with my second brush, I can add touches of magenta, wet and wet, couple of details. Look how beautifully it's quinacridone magenta. It flows, it mixes. I'm pretty sure if you don't have exact colors, it's no problem. Take the brightest colors from your palette. Today it's all allowed and it's very, very welcome to use bright colors today. I want to add a little bit of shades in this bottom part, so I add a little bit dark of gray in the area between two wings. Basically, I just let it flow, maybe set up some direction with the tip of the brush, according how the feathers are growing. Now let this part dry and we can paint a tail right now. So with my brush, with my smaller brush, I start to create feathers, basically just with brush strokes. And I vary colors I use. It's phthalo green, now it's phthalo turquoise. You probably have some kind of different turquoise in your palettes. If you don't, you just mix phthalo green or viridian with phthalo blue. It will be about the same. I want to add a little bit more of cobalt blue in some of the feathers. And you can either let them like this with quick brush strokes, or you can correct the shape a little bit. I think I will set up a little bit more defined shape. I just drag down the color from the tail part down, and with my brush correct it. I'm thinking, what can I add? I like how this quinacridone purple participated in the story, so I will add quinacridone purple in the area where the tail connects to the body. And I will add a couple of really dark brush strokes to divide feathers. Should be very juicy, bright, tropical feeling we are creating here. Couple of dry brush strokes. Pretty spontaneous painting. And for the contrast, I would like to add a little bit of lighter feathers. Same mix, but very diluted one. Now this area is dry. Now let's play around. I have my quinacridone purple. Now I will dilute it, and with very light brush strokes I will create a wash where the other wing is. So once you dilute your super bright color, it's suddenly very pastel, delicate, and this is how we create our contrasts. This is how we play around with watercolor. Now let's add details. Now I will take just the same mix, but bright, creamy, bold. And with the tip of the brush, I add this bold part right here. And I just let it all flow and mix, I can make it even darker. It's one of the darkest part. I have my cobalt blue. I think it also can work nicely in this color scheme. Couple of drier brush strokes around. You can dry a brush with a paper towel and then try to drag out the bolder color into the lighter area. Something like this. Now let it all dry and let's paint an eye. I will use just black. I have neutral tint. You need to leave white area in the eye. So first you outline this future white spot, and after that you paint cover the eye. Even maybe 1 or 2 white spots. Make them bigger. You can always make them smaller. It's very important that the eye will look vivid, live, not flat. Usually birds, they have dark area around the eye, something like this. Now we need to set up a little bit this eye because now it pops up too much. I will use one of my darker colors, turquoise, for example, and with the tip of the brush I will add a couple of very dry and bold brush stroke around the eye. So it will mute a little bit, it will sit down the eye in the head. In the head, you can add details like this. And at the same time I can start to paint big with the same turquoise. And then I will change turquoise into emerald green, which is phthalo green. Very fine lines. I think a touch of magenta would be nice on the head, especially around the eye. Small little brush strokes. Let's have a look around, maybe a couple of more. Just brush strokes with the tip of your brush to make it all look interesting. Some details, bit of drier brush strokes on the head. Now we can add claws. You can use same black. It's small little details, but they are very important. Basically, it's again just looking brush strokes. We are painting in a very small scale, at least I do, so the details will be also very, very tiny. Add a little bit more darkness to the bottom of the beak. I would like to add a little bit more of darkness to this part, so we will connect them. So a couple of brush strokes on the top part of the body, and I can vary them. Can add a little bit of purple, green, gray. It's important that you organize your brush strokes in organic way. Darker tone under the wing. It's a lot of shades here, and we need some contrast. It flows. I can, with clean damp brush, I can soften a little bit the details, or just leave them like they are. And once it dry, we can add a little bit more of details. I will use same quinacridone magenta, just making the inner part of the wing a little bit deeper. And I wash my brush, dilute slightly some details, and use diluted mix to add more feathers. Basically just brush strokes of very diluted mix on the top of our initial mix. I let everything mix by itself, just setting up the direction with my brush. Details also for the top thing, for this thing, just on like this tip of the brush. I would like to add one more feather right here. I think it will balance a little bit the flow of the flight of Hummingbird, just with very light one. Now it would be nice to add some kind of flower around. I have Piroli orange right next to me, some hibiscus flower. Just brush strokes. Flower is not our focal point. We can be very loose with this. Just brush strokes around. And of course a little bit of greenery. We can use the same green we used. A little bit on different sides. Let's add more shiny middle. Very typical for hibiscus, this very long stamen. Maybe a little bit more of flowers. Very detailed. Basically it's just brush strokes. I have no idea what I'm painting, to be honest, right now. Some random flower which it's not in the focus, so I can just arrange a couple of brush strokes here and there. Or I will also add a couple of splashes. I think would be nice like this. We have a hummingbird. Thank you so much for painting with me. I'm looking forward to know what would you like to paint next. And see you soon. Bye bye.